In this video, I'll be showing you how to read and understand the nutrition facts label on the side of food packages. Just food packages that you purchase from the supermarket or the grocery store or the convenience store. They all have food labels that's called the nutrition facts. And in this video, I'm going to explain or try to explain how to read and understand those labels on the side of food packages. Why is that important? If you're trying to become healthier, if you're trying to stay conscious of what you are putting in your body, if you want to get better results with your exercises or your working out, it's very important to know what you're putting inside of your body, what you're eating, what you're drinking. And these labels basically tells you what you're putting in your body. Also, in this video, I want to give you some of the recommendations from some of the government agencies like the Institute of Medicines, the American Heart Association, the Agricultural Department. These are some of the government agencies where they get together, they meet periodically, and they come up with what they think that we should be and should not be eating, like Americans. They come up with, and they call it like the dietary guidelines, and they come out with one, I think, like every 5 years. The last one prior to the one that came out in 2010 is the one that came out in 2005. So basically, I'll be giving you some of the information on what the government thinks that we need to eat more of, some of the things we need to limit. So I have some notes here, so let's get started. We're going to go off of this box of grape nuts I got out of the kitchen. And basically, this box of grape nuts, first let me give you a couple of pointers that you need to recognize and remember when you're trying to understand these labels. These labels, no matter what box or package or food package that is on, they are basing this information off of a 2,000 calorie diet daily. So basically, they're saying that if you're eating 2,000 calories a day, this is what you need to, this is what you're taking in, or this is what you're not getting enough of, or this is what you need to be getting enough of. So basically, all of these labels are based on a person who eats 2,000 calories a day, one day, 24 hours. So, of course, most of us don't eat 2,000 calories a day. Most of us, and some of us eat more than 2,000. Some of us eat less than 2,000. So this is basically a guide. It's just a guide. It's not something that you can take like, precisely. You have to because like I said, most of us don't eat just 2,000 calories. So like I said, this is just a guide, something to go off of. All the data is based on a serving size. So the data that's on these packages is not for the entire content, like not the entire box. With this box of grape nuts, what's on the side of this panel is not, they're not going off the entire box. They're only going off a serving size. And a serving size is going to be different from, throughout different packages. So with this, they saying that their serving size for a box of for the grape nuts, their serving size is a half a cup. So basically, this is a half a cup of grape nuts. So this is your serving size. If you were just trying to get a serving size, this half a cup, they say a half a cup of grape nuts is your serving size for, I guess, for the morning. So the serving size per container is about 12. So they're saying that this entire box, you'll probably get about 12 half a cups of grape nuts. So you get 12 of these, about 12 of these in this entire box. So also another thing, when they talk about serving sizes, they usually express serving sizes in like cups, spoons, like teaspoons or tablespoons, pieces, ounces, grams. Did I already say cups? Like cups. So basically that's what serving sizes on different packages are expressed in. So for this particular package, it's expressed in half a cups. So this is your half a cup of grape nuts. And this 1/2 a cup of grape nuts is 200 calories. So they also give you the information for if you're wanting to use milk. You know how some people eat just dry cereal. If you're wanting to use milk, they give you the information also for milk, but the information is for fat-free milk. So these two together, this is 200, this is an additional 40. So if you was eating this for breakfast, you would be getting 240 calories from a serving size of grape nuts, and that's with the skim milk. Next is the calories from fat. That's right up under calories. So basically they'll tell you how many calories of that 200 is from fat, because fat is something that they want us to sort of limit. So they want you to know like how many calories of that 200 is coming from fat. And they're saying that 10 of those 200 calories are coming from fat. But if you look right up under that, it gives you total fat, 1 gram. And also it tells you what type of fats that's in this serving size. So basically they're telling you that there's saturated fat, there's trans fat, where the saturated fat is 0 grams. So you don't have any saturated fat. Trans fat is 0 grams, no trans fat. Polyunsaturated, you have 0.5 grams. And the monounsaturated is 0 grams. So if you look over to the side where it says percent daily value, so for fat, they're telling you that you're getting 2% of fat for this serving. Okay, next would be the cholesterol. That's the next thing that's on the label. And it's basically telling you that it's 0 milligrams of cholesterol. So it has no cholesterol. So when it has no cholesterol, then the daily value is basically going to be 0. As of sodium, you're getting 290 milligrams of sodium in this half a cup. Potassium, you're getting 230 milligrams. The next thing on the label is your total carbs. And it's saying your total carbs for this half a cup of grape nuts is 48 grams. And in this 48 grams, they say that you get 16% of your daily recommended amount. And if you add milk, you're getting 18% of your daily recommended amount. And they also list up under total carbs, they list what type of carbs. They telling you dietary fiber, there's 7 grams in here. Sugar, there's 5 grams. and other carbs. And your other carbs would be like your starches, your sugar, alcohols, and your other carbs that's non-sugary. And that's 36 grams. So if you take 36 grams, 5 grams, and 7 grams of carbs, which are all of those are carbs, the dietary fiber, the sugar, and the other carbs, all of those are part of your total carbs. And if you add that 7, 5, and 36 up, you get your 48 grams. Your total carbs, 48 grams. Okay, and then right up under that is your protein. The next panel is basically the vitamins and minerals, and basically it's giving you the daily value percentage for the different vitamins and minerals that's in this half a cup of grape nuts. So vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, iron. So basically that's what that area right there is giving you. Also, it tells you amount in cereal. 1/2 cup fat-free milk contributes an additional 40 calories, 65 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 6 grams of total carbs, and 6 grams, that 6 grams is 6 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of protein. And right up under there, it says percent daily values are based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Your daily value may be higher or lower depending on your calorie need. So basically, it's telling you that everything on here, and you're going to see that same statement on just about every food package, because it basically have to tell you that the information that they're giving you, like the daily values and the calorie numbers, is basically telling you, like I told you earlier, that it's based on a 2,000 calorie diet. And down at the bottom you have the footnotes. Now, let me tell you about the footnotes. You're not going to always see it on the back of packages, and the reason why, some packages are just not big enough to carry the footnotes. So obviously they don't have to put it on every package because you won't see it on every package. But packages that are big enough for them to print it, you're going to see the footnotes. And basically the footnotes are basically telling you the daily recommended dietary advice for a 2,000 calorie diet and a 2,500 calorie diet. Also, one thing I'll tell you about the footnote at the very bottom, it doesn't change. The information on here does not change from package to package. No matter where you see this at, it's always going to have this, it's always going to have the same information. It's basically dietary recommendation advice from the government, and that's their recommendations, and like I said, it does not change from package to package. So if your package just so happens to not have a footnote, you can pick up any package and look at it because it doesn't change. The last thing on the list is usually the ingredients. And as far as the ingredients, they have a way of listing the ingredients. I don't know whether you've ever noticed this or anyone ever told you this, but as far as the ingredients, whichever comes first on the list of ingredients, that's what this product has the most of. So in this case, whole grain wheat flour, this product has the most of. Malted barley flour comes next. Salt comes next, and dried yeast come last. So with dried yeast coming last, that means that the content of dried yeast is not as much as the whole grain wheat flour. So whatever comes first, that's what this product has the most of. Whichever come last, that's what the product has the least of. So if sugar comes first on your ingredient list, that means if sugar comes first and salt comes last, that means this product is going to have more sugar than it does salt, because salt comes last, sugar comes first. So always remember that. So if you're trying to cut sugars or trying to cut salt, and one of those products come first or second on your list, then you might wanna maybe put it back, or make sure you read up here to see exactly how much, because like I said, if it comes first on the ingredients list, it has the most of anything else that's on that ingredient list. And another thing about the ingredient list that you may not understand is some of the terms they use on the ingredient list. Like, some of those terms you can't even pronounce, like you've never heard of in your life. So the best thing to do is Google it. Most of us have smartphones. If you're at the supermarket and you pick up something and you're reading the ingredients and you don't understand it, put it in your phone, Google it. Because there's somewhere on Google that's going to explain what exactly that ingredient is. So be proactive. Put it in Google and say, oh, well, that's this. No, I don't want that. It'll help you understand what those different ingredients are. This is the dietary guidelines for healthy Americans. Adults, not kids, but adults. So look at it this way. If you're high risk for like any type of heart disease, if you're having overweight or obesity problems, especially obesity problems, then these guidelines may not work for you. You need to seek a physician or a registered dietitian, because they are more for people, especially the registered dietitian, are more for people who have special needs and health issues and those type of things. The first thing is salt/sodium, and you'll see sodium on the labels, but basically that's salt. And basically they're saying to consume no more than 2,300 milligrams of salt per day. So this is, and that's about a teaspoon. So basically this is your teaspoon of salt. This is for regular healthy adults. No more than this added salt, or just sodium period in your diet. 2,300 milligrams. But let's shake some of this out. Let's do like a half, a little under a half a teaspoon. Now, if you're black, if you're middle age, if you're older, or if you're at risk, or if you having hypertension, or if you have hypertension, which is high blood pressure, then they want you to have less than 1,500 milligrams of salt. So take a little of that from that teaspoon, and here you got your half a teaspoon, a little over half a teaspoon. As far as fats, limit total fats to 20 to 35% of your daily calories, and that's 2,000 calories. So 20 to 35% for fats. So this would amount to about 400 to 700 calories a day for fat, or about 44 to 78 grams per day for fat. And they want you to get your fats from lean meats, fish, olive oils, canola, nuts, mono and poly unsaturated. Mono and poly unsaturated, remember, are your good fats, your more healthier fats. As far as saturated fats, and this saturated fat still counts towards your total daily allowance for fats. And remember, earlier I said 20 to 35% of your daily calories should go towards fat. But saturated fats, they want you to limit saturated fats to no more than 10% of your total calories. And to further reduce the risk of heart disease, they want you to lower it even more to 7%. Lowering your saturated fats to anywhere between 7 to 10% amounts to about 140 to 200 calories a day, or about 16 to 22 grams of saturated fats. Next is trans fats. Trans fats is basically where they've taken a process called hydrogenation, where they've taken liquid fat and turned it into solid fats. And those are considered trans fats, and those are considered the bad fats. Trans fats is always considered the bad fats. No one likes trans fats. And if you notice on most packages, you rarely see trans fats anymore. Like, it's almost completely gone. So as far as trans fats, they don't really have enough data to give you adequate recommendations. So they tell you to just stay below, at 1% or below for trans fat. So trans fat of your 2,000 calorie diet, they want you to be at 1% as far as trans fat. And another thing I can tell you, something about trans fat. Sometime up here in the panel, up here at the top of the nutritional labels, you'll see where it says trans fat 0. But then you go down to the ingredient label and you see something that's called partially hydrogenated fat, or you'll see something hydrogenated fat. So you'll be like, I thought it said it didn't have any trans fat, because basically partially hydrogenated and hydrogenated fats are trans fats. Okay, carbohydrates. They want you to get 45 to 65% of your daily calories from carbs. This amounts to anywhere from 900 to 1,300 calories a day, or about 225 to 325 grams. And they want you to get it from your fruits, your vegetables, your beans, and your whole grains. The next thing on the list is cholesterol. They want you to consume less than 300 milligrams a day, or less than 200 milligrams a day for anyone with risk of heart disease. If an item is high in saturated fats, it's probably high in cholesterol. So always remember that. If something is high in saturated fats, it's probably high in cholesterol also. Next is fiber. As far as women, they want you to get 22 to 28 grams of fiber a day. Men, between 28 and 34 grams of fiber a day. As far as sugar, and this is from the American Heart Association, no more than 100 calories a day from added sugars for most women, and no more than 150 calories of added sugar a day for most men. And this equates to about 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons a day for men. Protein. They want you to get anywhere from 10 to 35% of your total daily calories from protein, based on a 2,000 calorie diet. And this amounts to about 200 to 700 calories a day, or 50 to 175 grams of protein a day. And lastly, alcohol. If you don't drink, don't start. But if you drink, it should be done in moderation. And for women, they want you to have no more than 1 drink a day. And for men, 2 drinks a day. So why do men have all the fun? Why do men get to have more of these things than us? That's not fair. But anyway, that's the lowdown on the guidelines for the Healthy Americans 2010. This came out in 2010, and like I said, I think they redo it every 5 years, because the last one I remember reading was in 2005, and this one is 2010. So yeah, they sit here and they put this together for us. Some controversy is always behind this type of stuff, because some people say, oh, you don't need this, and why. I've read so many controversial type of articles disputing what the guidelines should be for Americans. So sometimes you don't even know what to believe. I'm here all happy thinking that I'm knowing what I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I need to be eating. Then you read this article from this one scientist or this researcher up at Harvard, and he's saying, oh no, you shouldn't be doing this, and they shouldn't. I'm like, are you kidding me? Some of this stuff make things so hard, I'm telling you, because you got one person, and these are both doctors, or these are both scientists, or these are both whatever, and you got one saying this and one saying that. So who do you listen to? I don't know. Don't ask me, because this stuff can get crazy sometimes. You got one personal trainer saying this, and you got one personal trainer saying this. It'll drive you crazy. I'm telling you, it will drive you crazy. I get to the point where I try to make things work for myself. I might take a little of what they saying over here and a little of what they saying over here, and I'll play around till I find something that works for me. Because at the end of the day, these people will drive you crazy with all this controversial type of articles. Just some of the stuff I read, it drives me crazy. It really does. So I like to give you what they say by the government, and that's what most people go off of. When you see studies and when you see people, they usually go off of what the government has stated for that year or for those. Just try to find a happy medium. That's what I tell you, because it'll drive you crazy. But that's it. That's all I had to talk about. That's what this video was about. So all about this grape nuts. So this is your breakfast for today. A half a cup. Like, who eats this amount of cereal? Think about it. Like, when was the last time all you poured was a half a cup of cereal? Yeah, it's crazy. And a half a cup of milk. So look, think about it. This is your cereal. This is 240 calories. I'm like, how many of these would you have to eat in order to be full? So yeah, this the stuff that, you know, it is what it is. This is what they say, and this is, you know, I put the information out here. So this is the information that they want us to spread around to Americans to keep us healthy. But, you know, at the end of the day, you got to find what keeps you healthy and happy. You got to find, like, what works for you. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for, to put it out there, and what you do is up to you. So any questions about these nutritional labels, anything you see on a nutritional label that you do not understand, hit me up. Email me, because I want you to understand what these things mean. It's very vital that you know what you are putting in your body. Have a great day, and bon appetit. See ya.